I had a thing at work once. I used to always shit at work mid-afternoon, and I really enjoyed shitting at work. Great time to like clear my head and get up out of my desk or whatever. The problem was there was somebody pissing on the floor at work. So I had to wipe up the piss. One of the two guys here is pointing at the other one as a guilty pisser, I guess, or a shitter. And so I decided I'm going to figure out who the guilty pisser is based on seeing I didn't want to spy on them in the toilet, but I wanted to see, like, if somebody's not at work one day, is the bathroom spot clean? And, like, figure out over time who the guilty pisser is by the days they're not at work, is the bathroom clean? And I figured out who it was. It was my best friend at work. And I confronted him, and he stopped doing it.
Why did that take confrontation, though? Just be a decent human being and piss in the urinal.
He was morbidly obese, and I don't know if that played a part. Maybe he didn't realize, he couldn't see how much he was pissing on the floor. That might have been it.
You could probably hear it splattering, or like...
I don't know. I didn't want to overthink it.
Gotcha.
But whatever.
Yeah, because if I take a piss and there's a urinal cake in there, I'm not going to lie. I'm going to drill a hole in that son of a bitch. So I can, inspect the urinal cake afterwards and be like, okay, I made it all. But I'm not morbidly obese, so...
But anyway, my idea was a way to solve the problem of figuring out who's the guilty party in the bathroom and making it disgusting in the bathroom. Apparently women hover over the toilet sometimes and they piss all over the seat because they're hovering. I've heard this, although it doesn't jive with my view of women as being cleaner than guys, but I guess it happens. So it can apply to both men and women restrooms. And the idea is a camera, and what it would do is when you latch and unlatch the door for a stall, it would slide the camera side to side. So the camera, when you're in there and you've got it latched closed, you can see that the camera is blocked by the door. It slides in the door. So it obviously can't see you using the bathroom. But when you unlatch it, when you're done, the camera slides into the hole so you can see
the aftermath.
The aftermath.
Oh.
It's like a classy pervert move, I guess.
It's not meant to be a pervert move. It's meant to see who's going in when, and is it a mess in there. I mean, you always latch and then pull down your pants, or you pull up your pants and then unlatch. I would hope.
Well, if you're in a hurry, you might, like if you're in a big hurry and you don't have Sarah's like shit sponge, and you're struggling, like sometimes on the way to the bathroom, you're undoing your belt, your drawstrings, and you're getting ready for an all-out war in there.
But that's the basic idea, and my thought is that it's a little creepy, I know, but and it would probably make more sense for like workplaces where if you catch somebody, you know who it is, like a sports stadium, like there's thousands of people going in and out. How are you going to ID them? So it wouldn't make sense for that. And my thought was, what makes cameras creepy is when you don't know if they're on or not.
I'll just talk about using the bathroom. You mind if I take 2 minutes?
Okay, go ahead. But yeah, like laptops and like Amazon Alexa, it's creepy because you don't know if it's listening or not. Whereas there's a mechanical way of seeing whether it can see you or not. You have control. So if something's wrong with the stupid thing and it's not latching correctly or whatever, just don't use that stall. It's like it's not hiding. It's not pretending it's off. So I'm thinking maybe people would accept it because it's a camera that you've got control over as opposed to like an Alexa thing that could be listening anytime.
Right. I think it's a good idea.
Okay. You didn't say why you don't like using the public restroom. Is it a cleanliness issue? Like you don't want to use it if somebody's pissed all over the place? Or is it just a shyness? Like
a shyness thing. I only like to go at home. I don't want my coworkers talking about how I'm blowing up the bathroom. I don't want them to know.
Yeah, there's some weird male bathroom things where it's like some guys, like if the urinals are full, they'll piss in the stall, but they leave the door wide open because they want to show everybody that they're not shitting. Like, I'm not one of these people who shit. So I'm going to leave the door, I'm going to hold the door open with one hand while I piss with the other hand, just to show that I'm not one of those people. So yeah, there's some weird judging of people shitting in the men's room too, but I don't give a fuck. If I have to shit, I shit.
I'm the same way.
So yeah, I actually had it was a 2-part idea. So the way to keep the workplace bathroom clean would be that camera that you've got control over, and that goes with the door latch. The second part was for like the stadium bathrooms, a way to keep those clean. So basically they have these Japanese toilets. I don't know if you've seen those, but they'll like spray your underside to clean it, and they have heated toilet seats, and they're like high-tech toilets.
Yeah, my dad went to Japan recently, and he ranted and raved about those.
Yeah, I worked for a Japanese company in Ann Arbor for a while, and they had one of those, and I liked it. The heated part. I didn't use the sprayer. I was too bashful. Today I would try it just for the hell of it. It's not the same as a bidet. It's not a separate thing that you go in the toilet and then you move over to the bidet. It's a toilet with a sprayer that comes out after you're done pooping. And
so basically you poop in the toilet and the toilet poops in you?
Exactly.
Kind of, I mean.
So they have the capability of putting electronics in the toilet. But what I want is something similar but different. At least in the men's room, they have U-shaped toilets, horseshoe-shaped toilet seats where the front end isn't fully toilet seat.
Yeah.
So when you lift it up, it's like 2 vertical bars that are angled a little bit for the sides. So I thought if you had like a little, I'm picturing like those things that they have in hair salons that you put your head in that like fold up and down. Mm-hmm. If you had something like when you lift the toilet seat up, it's like the hair salon thing. It folds down over the 2 halves of the toilet seat, and then it sprays them, and then the water would drip down them and clean them as it drips down.
Oh.
And then it could also have like a blower in it to dry it afterwards. I don't know how well that would work. It might have to spray it with power, like a jet that sort of angles and sprays different parts. It might not just be enough to drip. And if somebody smeared shit on it, it might not clean it. But for piss, I think it would work. Like a little hairdresser round globe thing that would fold down over it and then spray water and then air down it to at least clean the sides. I don't know what you do for like the butt end of the toilet. I don't know if it would quite get that. But if you had to, you could like scoot forward and avoid that part. Yeah. Or they could come up with a special toilet that doesn't have a back either. It's just the 2 sides. So that's basically the idea. And I think the only reason that the Japanese didn't already invent that with their high-tech toilet is people aren't disgusting there. They didn't have a need for it. Like, people aren't pissing all over the seat and all over the floor in Japan.
Yeah, they're very polite in every way, shape, or form.
So yeah, I think it's possible. It's just the people who would invent it didn't have a need for it.
That's a shame.
But we need it here because people are animals.
Yes.
In the U.S. Any thoughts?
Anything that makes shitting more fun is always a plus in my book. You know.
I wouldn't call it fun. I mean,
interesting, more comfortable, I guess.
I mean, if you're going to do that, you would probably have the whole Japanese suite with the bidet feature and the heated seat. That stuff is more fun, I would say. Because, like, the first time you use one of those bidet things, it's, like, scary and weird. And
how do you dry off after you've used a bidet?
It's got a dryer thing, too, I think.
Oh.
So I don't think they even need toilet paper at all. Well, or maybe they just...
Wow.
Maybe they dab off if the dryer doesn't work perfectly. But yeah, I want cleaner bathrooms.
I think we all want cleaner bathrooms. I think that'd be a plus. I mean, especially at truck stops or something. Good God. Brainstorming and pitching ideas is the funnest part of the creative process. We decided to skip the boring part of actually making stuff and just do the fun part. I'm comedian Justin Siekierka.
I'm Sarah Wooley.
I'm your host, Tom Walma. This is Creativity Wasted. And I also started a Patreon. I'll put all the unedited episodes up there, and I have notes for some of the ideas. I'm putting those up there. So if you love the show, consider donating to Patreon.